Hi everyone, this is Francisco, and I just came up with an idea because I was just thinking of these tiny little roses that I purchased, and it's so cool because they have a little rose and they actually glow in the dark. So like if I go underneath my my blanket, you guys can see it glowing. See how you can't see anything else except the rose? The rose glows. So like I basically right now, like if I hold it a light close to it, like the Christmas tree lights. So I'm just basically like energizing it and fusing it up. So like now if I go underneath my blanket, you guys can see it even more. Anyway, so my point in creating this video is actually an interesting idea, because I was honestly just looking at how a battery is created, and there is actually a separator of the two materials. So I thought about redesigning the whole battery into a string, like an electrical cord, but the chain, and it will be converted into a chain. So one side of the cord, one half from the neck down, from the back of the neck down, it will be one element. The other side will be a different element. It's just like a battery. So at the very bottom, it could have an LED, and it could light the little flower up at all times, and it could have it could be like a certain type of lighting, a certain type of light, a special type of light. Or I was thinking something along those lines, like what if it doesn't even require actual light to illuminate it? Like what if it could just get heated up like a chemical reaction, and for it to light up? So I don't think anyone has ever thought about this idea, honestly. Everyone always creates like an extension cord with just one type of metal. But a battery with different metals within it, two different metals, right? Similar to a battery. So it'll still be rechargeable. We just have to think it through. We have to be able to think how this will work. As a matter of fact, my mom just purchased some Christmas lights, and one set of Christmas lights reached 30 feet. I just recently put the Christmas lights up. It basically ran out of Christmas lights, so I had to use the second box. But in order for me to connect it, I had to connect a little connector, and it had it was like just two little points like this coming out of the connector, like two little non-sharp needles, like two little toothpicks basically. So if the necklace had something like that, then guess what? We would be able to recharge, like recharging a battery. We would be able to recharge the necklace battery in this way. Because I was watching this video on how a battery works, with Tesla, the Tesla company. And basically all that's happening is the positive electrodes are going to and getting stored in the negative chamber, whatever. And then when someone wants to use it, those positive electrolytes, whatever electrodes, go to back to the positive side until they run out or something like that. So it's basically like the electricity basically is like filling up a room when the battery is full. And then when you use the battery, it's like everyone walking out of that room. That's how basically a battery works. Until it runs out, until there's nothing left in there. But instead of people, it's like electrolytes or something like that. Positive and negative, like ions, right? That's all it really comes down to. But like a battery is just nothing but thin layers of material, sheets of metal, like aluminum foil, but it's a special type of metal that is used specifically for the battery. So this wire, this flat piece of metal can actually be transformed into a wire, like a gauge wire type of thing, and it can go from one distance down to a certain distance, and the same side for the other type of metal. So basically it'll be a battery. And then there will be the negative and positive. And the way that this will work is at the very bottom, wherever you have your little pendant, basically there will be different adapters or connectors, so you'll be able to remove and add whatever it is that you want to light up. And it's like, if basically it's the same thing as having a big ass battery with the white and red wire, or it's the red wire and the black wire. But either way, we know that the red one is the positive and then the other one is the negative, right? And then it goes to power whatever it is that you want to light up. It could be an LED light. It could be, um, like a little speaker with little sound coming out of it, like twinkle, twinkle, little star, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that you want to power, right? So think about it. Battery is not that big, but some appliances or some, what's it called? Some devices require more than one battery. Now, if it requires more than one battery, then that's like us jumping into more like fashion without the need for batteries, because the wire within the fabrics within the fabric will be the battery itself. So Tesla, the company, or the Energizer Bunny, whatever company's out there that specializes in batteries, all they have to do is make different types of two different types of metals within the wire, not just copper, not only copper. It has to be two types of metal, and it has to function like a battery. Because I seen on Tesla on YouTube how Tesla creates those batteries, and basically it's just one sheet of metal, and then underneath it there's a something to, like a preventer for the other metal at the very bottom not to make contact with the top metal, and the top metal not to make contact with the bottom metal. So there's a spacer there. It's called a spacer. It's basically another thin piece of plastic or something to prevent the metals from conducting, like touching. So basically it will be the same thing, but we're redesigning it, and the metal will be, instead of it being a flat piece of sheet of metal, it will be a gauge wire. And then outside of that, we have like any electrical cord, like especially we all know them because of our cell phones, right? This type of wire, this type of plastic or rubber or whatever it is, that will be the spacer. So people won't get hurt or whatever. And all of us understand that there's like 2 or 3, even maybe 4 wires in here. But what I'm talking about is just one per thing. And then basically like from here and down here, basically it'll connect, but it'll be different metals. And then at the back, you'll be able to connect it, and that will be your battery. So think about that. A flexible battery. And it'll be able to go into clothing, into beanies, into hats, without the bulkiness and the concentration of the battery being in one area. That weight will be distributed evenly throughout the clothing. The same can be true for glasses. The same can be true just for about anything out there. Anything and everything. So I just thought about that right now because I was thinking it would be neat to be able to keep this little rows, and illuminating like throughout the whole day, especially at night. And so I even thought, like, right here, I don't know if you guys can see this very clearly, but it's basically a little piece of glass that contain like a little jar, and then it has a cork. It has a little cork. So that cork, it could have a little battery. You know those little round cylinder batteries? It could have one inside of this, and this could be made out of plastic, and just the outside could be rubber, so it will have the appearance of a cork, but in reality it won't be a cork. It will be an illusion of a real cork. And right underneath it, there could be an LED light. And remembering that the string itself, the necklace itself, will be the battery. So then it will light up in there. And for fashion, I mean, that's huge. This just, I don't really know all the ways that we can use this right now, but the possibilities are practically endless, because now people won't know where there's a battery, because I mean, if it could be interwoven with fabric, right? And no one will even know about it. And I think probably the best way to go about this is to add a magnet so it can connect to a charger without having to, deal with, touching metals, like a hot wire. So just by having a magnet and it conducting to the charger, then, we can keep it charged. Okay, I was flagging traffic control with Luna, and people have to have hard hats. Some people have lamps, like headlamps, and then it has a bunch of batteries. Well, now some batteries you don't even have to remove them. They're just in there like lithium batteries. And basically all you do is charge it up. Charge it up at night whenever you get off work. Unless you didn't use it and there's no need for you to charge it, or you're working during the day and you don't need to charge it. But if it's ever required, then you have that there. So imagine, light on the glasses, your beanie, your hat, that type of thing. It would just be neat to have that. And not just that, but like the stop paddles, just the clothing itself, the safety clothing. There's the class 3. It'll be good for those reasons as well. So yeah, I just decided to create this video to talk about it, because no one has ever thought about this. No one. And I'm not sharing it so we could all, you know, to debate with one another, with each other, as far as, or concerning if I'm the one who thought about this or not. My point is that we can then come up with newer ideas, newer implementations for this type of technology, or new discovery, new research, and basically integrating that, applying that to our inventions that we have. Okay, that's all I was referring to. Okay, another thing is like this rose here. Technically, there could be, okay, just look at this material outside of the plastic. I mean, outside of the metals, right? Imagine if this material was glow in the dark material, and kind of like a light bulb, it heats up the coils in there, the little springs. So imagine if it did that, but it had glow in the dark stuff. So you would just turn it on for a little bit, it would turn off, and it will basically fuse the outer plastic with the equivalency of someone shining a flashlight directly on this and then turning it off. And then it will be at its brightest illuminescence, right? So that's another way for us to save on electricity, especially if we could play around with that and experiment with that and come up with newer, scientific research or breakthrough research. And we just have to think along those lines. Like, how can we make something that glows in the dark? Basically, it's like applying the light bulb inside of the flower, inside of this rose, turning it on, because the battery is limited. But once it's turned off, the rose will continue to be glowing. It will continue to glow because of the energy that it harnessed until it radiates that energy out, or once it cools down, once that chemical reaction, goes back, like it calms itself down, then it'll cease to glow. It's like a wave in the ocean, or like a swimming pool. When the water is there and the water gets disturbed, it starts moving around, and that's what makes it glow. I think chemically, like a chemical reaction, and then until it settles, and then it stops glowing. So it's either that, or the little light is just placed above this. And I also seen some wine bottles. Some wine bottles that have the cork. So that's another idea for people who would wish to add some form of lighting, some type of light into the wine bottle. Like, what if someone came up with a clever sticker for their bottle on the outside, right? So once you turn on the light up here, it'll cause the label to like glow up, like glow and to do something creative, but that would also require, education. It will require a special team. And the idea that I'm talking about, like Tesla and them, well, they would have to redesign this whole concept if they wanted to, because it could be implemented in future electronics. And that's what Tesla's all about. It specializes in electronics. Anything electronical, they're all over it. Their hands are all over it. It's like if bitch gave you the green light to just, have sex with her, you're not going to fuck around. Okay, so anyways, I hope these ideas inspire people. I hope that all of you have a great Christmas for the year 2021. Right now, today is December 16th, 2021. And it is 7:06 now, 7:06 p.m. So, thank you all for watching. God bless you. And like Jesus Christ said, like God said, let your light shine among people. And I thank God for Edison and all the scientists and everyone out there who are educated, not thinking about themselves, but thinking about future generations. And just like the Christmas song says, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And it's also in Christian environments, Christian services, Christian churches as well. They play that song all over the place, like a Christmas tree. Like Christmas trees. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So anyways, I bought these through Alibaba for like $40. I bought 20 of them for like, I think it was like close to like 20 or right under $20 and then $20 for shipping. So I paid $40 for them. It says right there on the website, like $13 retail price. And I only bought them for like 6.5 cents each. So I paid like $13 basically. Okay. I'm selling them for 10 out here in Riverside. I think they're super cute. They're freaking nice. I have a blue color, a pink color. No, I have a blue color, purple, violet color, pink color, and all white, like this one. All white. See that? And I have them right here. See, these are I have 5 of each. These here are the blue ones. These are the blue ones. These are the purple ones. Violet, purple. That's because my fan, the lights went out. So I have to have these Christmas trees in here. Or someone stole my light bulb. See that? These are the pink ones. And then obviously the white one. And I shared the white one with all of you. But I have these right here on the windowsill because you know, for them to stay active with the lighting outside, the sun and all that. But anyways, I hope all of you will be encouraged by this, and I mean, just think about it, like, even Christmas trees, the artificial Christmas trees, this idea can be implemented into them. So, like, when someone looks at a Christmas tree, they won't see any wiring whatsoever. It'll all be hidden within the skeleton of the rainbow. I mean, the skeleton of the Christmas tree. And for it to connect one piece on top of another, it will just go into the housing of it and connect without having to plug it. Just an idea, okay? So if you don't understand anything, just ask me questions. You know, feel free to comment on my video. Like it, subscribe. Thank you very much.